Are you? Is that gonna be weird?
For me, it's mostly the look. I actually kind of don't like this audio. Yeah? Okay.
13,
We'll keep it.
14, 15.
Makes you feel like the host more.
Okay.
Because you're
Yeah, you're assertive.
yeah.
Too much bling
Just be
bling.
yourself, bro.
Well, I'm trying to be myself, but I'm trying to be my best self.
Good.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Josh Schwartz today, another photographer in Wisconsin. Josh, tell us about yourself.
Thanks. Thanks for having me, man. I'm a photographer, kind of getting into more video stuff now too. But yeah, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, do a bit of everything. My whole branding thing right now is photography for individuals, businesses, and brands alike. So yeah, just trying to build out my range of work, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Cool. We're here at the studio in Racine. We got AZ. Shout out AZ. He's out behind the cameras, doing a little this and that. I've known Josh for how long have we known each other?
I was trying to think about it before I came here. It's been a while now. I was just we were just talking about before when we first met in the studio,
In this
2
place,
feet
yeah.
away from where I'm sitting right now for the first time. We had known
remember
each other on Instagram and followed each other.
Yep.
And you hosted some event at the studio, kind of networking.
Yeah, it's a meetup for photographers and
Yeah.
stuff.
But I think I was just out of high school at that point. So that was
Okay.
it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to do that not too often, but we wanted to gather photographers, videographers, and have people chit chat. And yeah, we met there and we've become friends and worked on various projects together.
Yeah.
Wedding stuff we've done, corporate stuff we've done.
Weddings it kind of started with.
Yeah.
Because it was that day that we had met the first time that you kind of asked me, because at that point I hadn't done any weddings. Because I think knowing you was through Jacob Durbin, and at that point there was a whole thing of just meetups and hangouts. So that was kind of the scene that I was in, and I wasn't making too much money with it. And then I came here and we talked,
And we made tons of money.
yeah, if that's what this was all about, then yeah, absolutely. But no, yeah, you asked me, you were like, what do you think about doing weddings? So that was
Okay.
that was my intro into weddings, was you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you had been doing them.
No.
No? Oh, so
Yeah,
you
you
lied on your resume.
No, I didn't lie. I think you knew that. You're what do you think? You're I like your other work. What would you think about trying out and getting into weddings? You're I'm looking for second photographers to help out and shoot with these weddings.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. And you've been helping me a lot with somebody called it moral support on set, because it's so helpful to have somebody there with you. It's like doing it by yourself. You can do it by yourself, but having that somebody there to kind of confirm your is this the right way to shoot this? And somebody goes, oh yeah, that looks good.
Right.
And then you feel oh yeah, I'm confident now. Let's
Right.
shoot. Do.
Yeah, it's good just to have a second person there, because I feel too when you're leading something, you're still in the zone of a certain thing that you're doing that you sometimes forget the small things too. So even for me, just shooting certain things, it's if I just have somebody there just to be hey, wait a second, what about this? What about that? Check out the little things. It's good to have.
Yep.
Plus
Even setting this stuff up, when
Yeah.
somebody's on the other side and you don't have to be going back and forth to set up and stuff. Super helpful if you're out there shooting stuff by yourself. Reach out to other people. To me, it was a long time before I was oh, let me just ask. Even today, we just saw AZ today.
Yeah.
Ran into him at Esperanza Coffee, and I was a little hesitant about should I ask him or yeah. I mean, people love just to be together and
Why not?
actually do creative stuff together.
Yeah. Why not? I mean,
it's fun.
Yeah. Early on in my career, I feel even though when I was just assisting you or other photographers on little things, I feel that's just huge for development. And it's just kind of seeing how somebody else works and feeling you can still give little input, just especially when we started out, I of course didn't feel I was anywhere near the level that you were of a photographer, a videographer, a creative, but to still feel hey, I can go there, I can learn things and Chino trusts me to be like, hey, what about this? What about that? So never to be like too big to be like, no, I don't want to take, advice from that.
I don't have as much confidence as people think that I have.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably noticed that
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm a similar.
like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
why am I here? Why did they hire me? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I think I still need to work on that myself, like being on set and like, okay, I got this. And
Yeah.
it helps to have people around you that say, yeah,
Right.
we got this. It's, you're set up.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to tweak that
Yeah.
that thing again and over and again. It's fine.
Right. It's like you've done this a million times, and a lot of those small things that you're like worrying about too, like nobody is ever going to notice.
True.
A client isn't going to notice this little thing. Another photographer might not even notice this little thing, but yeah, I get it. We get hung up on these small things, and then we're like, we suck at this. Like, what are we doing? Why are we here? But yeah, it's that self-doubt inside of us that kind of comes out sometimes. I think a lot of creatives deal with that.
What's been something that you loved shooting so far? You went from a full-time job. Now you got sick and tired of the man above you. How many months has it been since you kind of went freelance?
It's November 1st was like my last day at my 9 to 5. So it's been like 2 going on 3.
Yeah, and
3
your
months of
9
it.
to 5 was doing photo video, so it wasn't like you quit being a salesman or something. You were still in the same kind of realm, but you still felt like you had to get out and be your own person, your own business.
Yeah, it was like the same, because I feel like a lot of creatives like have like a 9 to 5 or like a part-time job, but I think when it's like the job that you're doing part-time while also like doing your own business, and because while I was doing the 9 to 5, it wasn't like I wasn't doing any like freelance business or like my own work. I was doing that plus that. So I think having it be the same like realm of work, being like production, like photo video, plus you go home at night and you're like, oh, I just work Monday through Friday, and now I got a wedding on Friday that I need to edit a different wedding on Sunday, or I have an event on Sunday. And you know how it goes. You got emails to respond to. So at night, I'm go home from 9 to 5, and it's like, oh, I still got client emails to respond to. I still have other editing to get done. I still have social media to do, this, that. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not doing this because it's easy.
And I think it gets to the point where you probably like don't even want to promote yourself as much, because it's like you're gonna pile on even more work, and when are you gonna get to it?
Yeah. I think that's one of the hardest things now for me, like having left my 9 to 5 and now being full-time freelance, full-time my own business, is getting back into the whole like promoting, advertising, social media. Because during the almost 3 years that I was doing this 9 to 5 job, I didn't want to promote and try to get more work, because the amount of work that I was getting just from like word of mouth and working with other photographers like you and Brandon and Rachel and a bunch of other people, it's like that was more than enough to keep me busy, that if I would have done the extra work, it's like I didn't have the energy to do that. So now at this point, trying to like get back into that whole
and hopefully that's a good thing of you being here right now on a Thursday during the day.
I would not have been able to do this if you would have asked me this a couple months ago. I would have said, Gino, you're out of your mind.
Probably.
And if you would have asked me to do this on a weekend, I probably also would have been like, Gino, I'm going to sleep the whole day because I'm exhausted and burnt out, and I don't want to do that. As fun as it would be. I love doing stuff like this, but it gets tough.
I'm glad to see you being out in the world on your own. I know the struggle that's that are gonna come up. It'd be a lie to say that everything's gonna be great and everything now, but we'll follow along with you on Instagram. Tell us about your socials so that maybe people can see. You're on.
Everything is at I am Josh Schwartz. I am, and then my full name, Josh Schwartz.
Schwartz is
SCHWARTZ. Sometimes there's no T. Some people WAR.
On yours it is
Z. Mine's a T. I'm just making things confusing now.
Okay.
Forget everything I said.
You are Joshua Schwartz.
I am Josh Schwartz.
Josh,
not Joshua. Yeah.
And your website is?
No, that's my at. Dang, I should have wrote all this stuff down. It's just IamJoshSchwartz.com. Yeah.
I am Josh Schwartz.
.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Kept everything simple. So if you didn't know who I was, I'm Josh Schwartz.
And that's where we go to and sponsor at Squarespace.
So you've used for the longest time SmugMug, right?
Yeah, I feel kind of like I'm trapped in SmugMug because I have so many galleries on there now
Yeah.
that leaving, I would like lose all that because all that old stuff is like on old hard drives that I would have to go and find. So like, kind of got cornered into it. That's why I don't like cloud services.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get stuck there for the rest of your life because you're not gonna want to
Move everything.
download everything again. So I still like the physical hard drives.
Yeah. Backups and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I used PicTime for the longest time for like client galleries and stuff. And then during like Black Friday, like New Year's sale, I don't know if you've heard of the Unscripted posing app. It started out as this like posing app, but now they have like a whole like kind of client service and like galleries. So they had like a lifetime subscription thing to it for discount over Black Friday. So I bought that and I'm going to try it out. If not, I can go back, but for the price, I don't know.
Yeah.
Made sense to.
Do you? I know you sell prints. Do you find that clients come to your website to buy the photos, like have digital prints? Not digital prints, but
I think if I had
prints.
it set up, they would. I don't currently have it set up on my website.
Oh,
Yeah, so far it's just been a thing of just like
Digital
advertising to like my social media about it, and then like friends and like family of prints.
No,
Yeah.
but like the galleries that you say you do a session and then you have them on there. Do you see a lot of people ordering prints from you?
Yeah, sometimes I think it's cool to have like a service that does like include that, because I know. Do you still do like the photo books like with packages?
No, we
No,
don't.
I know some people used to do that or might still do that, or like include like certain prints with it. It's never something that I wanted to like mess with, but I think it is nice to have like the option for your client to be like, hey, my gallery is through whatever service. I can go in there and then click this one, click this one, click this one, instead of downloading. And then you take it to Walgreens, it comes back, doesn't look right, or you take it
Right.
to a different print service. So
Uh-huh.
I think it's good to have the option to like. So yeah, I do see sometimes clients. I've had clients buy like photo books too.
Okay.
From like them at the time. It was like PicTime that offered that, or just like small prints here and there. But I don't know,
Yeah.
everything's digital, so I feel like it's a little bit less and less of that. Like,
I like what you're doing though, like printing stuff that you like and then selling it, so like people can have a print of yours, so that people who know you or enjoy your work can have it on their wall. And I think it's more like artistic thing than, let's say, a picture of my cat or something.
right.
I mean, people love that too.
Yeah. And for me too, it's less about like making money from that. Like it started out like family, like
Yeah.
friends for family. Like my mom was like, oh, we redid our bedroom and we want like some updated photos. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. So like print out some work that I had that like fit and like did it. And even for myself, like I recently like finished creating like a gallery wall in my house and framing up more of like photos and art that I've taken. And so it's cool to do. And if someone wants to buy it because they like it too,
Where can we buy this?
I currently don't have it set up. So yeah, you can just reach out and
DMs.
hit the DMs.
Hit the DMs.
But yeah, I made a post a little bit while ago about like what I had for sale, and I still have some stuff. So if there's anything specific, yeah, reach on out. But
I have one. I have a piece.
you do.
Yeah.
You were one of my first customers.
Yeah.
So
I got
is
the
it hung up
discount.
finally?
It's hung up.
Because I delivered it to you, and then I think for like a year and a half, it sat on the floor. And every time I come over, I'd look at it, and my smile would slowly turn to a frown a little more and more. But it's hung up
But it's
now.
hung up now.
It's hung up now.
I gotta
That's
show it
good.
to you. Yeah.
No, I'll come see it. So, as we talked about before, kind of how like I met you here for the first time, and you like kind of in a way like took a chance on me to be like, hey, I like your work, but
I take a lot of risk on all these photographers around here.
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think like for me, like that was huge. Like being a photographer that was only just going to like meetups and taking photos of people, and having people like you and Brandon and other photographers be like, hey, I'm gonna take like a jump and take a risk to like involve them more into this and like to do more stuff. I think that's like huge for like the development and like my learning, and also like my confidence as like a young photographer, like
Yeah.
getting into it. So it's like, I know you've done that for like a lot of people. I know I'm not the only one that's been like helped out like in that way.
Yeah.
It's just like, I appreciate it. I know a lot of other people do as well.
Nice.
You gonna cry?
Yeah. I'm crying.
That'll sell.
No, that's good to hear. I don't think I've.
That's honest. I'm sorry to interrupt, but no, that's honest. Like it
AZ
does
saying
us.
it's
It makes us
honest.
feel like we're a part of the community for other
It
matches
says
doing
it's
something.
part of a community. Good to hear.
Yeah, no.
Maybe he should have come up and said that too.
Yeah, you should get him in for the next episode. But no, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think like without like that, without taking the jump, it's like we're kind of doing all this all together, and through that, it's like we've built like a great friendship as well.
Yeah.
That I think that without like, yeah, we like met through photography, and it kind of started out as like, I don't want to say a business thing, but it started out as like helping you out with work and doing photo stuff. But it became a great friendship, and now we've been friends for how many years?
True.
Which has led to things unrelated to work. We've gone on trips together. You know, we hang out together a lot. And
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great.
We had a fun trip to Mexico with some other fellas.
Yeah. For
There's
your
a
birthday.
lot of,
I won't say what year, but
Yeah.
it was a milestone birthday for Chino.
milestone birthday in Mexico in Jalisco.
Jalisco.
We saw a lot of cool stuff. Ran into some interesting people. There was a lady on the street who thought you were a movie star from the movie The Hangover.
The Hangover.
She was like, I don't remember. She seemed like she was trying to say it in English, but she was from the area, so it was kind of Spanish, kind of mixed. I don't know if she was trying to call you Bradley Cooper or she was saying, "Oh, The Hangover," something like that.
She was trying to call me Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
which I don't think I look anything like Bradley Cooper, but I think my confidence in that moment was skyrocketed to a level that it's
Yeah.
never been before.
Yeah.
And I think you guys got a good laugh because you were like, we do not see that. We've looked at Josh every day for the past week and none of us ever said, that's Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
But
And
she might have been drunk. Let's be honest.
Maybe. And did she follow us a little bit around?
Maybe.
I think she saw us again and said, "Oh, Bradley Cooper."
Yeah. It was a recurring theme.
Yeah. And another part was where we call him the horseman.
Oh, man.
Because this guy who was riding around in his horse in a beautiful little town that we walk around in.
You got to tell him how we first met him. The first night we got there,
Oh yeah, we
we went to go get food.
went to get food and drinks, and he was at the other table. A hat
Oh, yeah.
like this big.
I've never seen before.
You know, he stood out immediately, and he was kind of being loud with. He was there with like either Canadians or
Other Americans, yeah, just at their table.
that were at the table, and he was being loud, and we kind of shouted him out for something. I recorded a video of him, like, because I wanted to get a video of his a shot of his hat and stuff.
You have to put it in here if you can find it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And yeah, small interaction. Later on, we saw him again. He was riding his horse, and then he offered to give us horse tours.
Yeah, I think he said like tours of like the area. He's like, yeah, I got a bunch of horses. Like, do you guys want to like come with?
Yeah.
Do like horse tours.
So we follow this guy. We're
Not all of us though.
not all of us, like half the group wanted to ride the horses, and
Sean and your brother were like,
they're like,
heck no. They're like, we're not going with this guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, me, you, and Julian were like, we'll do it. We're trying to have fun.
We'll take the
What's the
risk.
worst that can
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah, so we get to his. No, we don't get anywhere. It's on the
We didn't make
street.
it far. Well, we followed him for a while.
We followed him for a while. He was on his horse. He stops one spot and he says, "Wait for me here," or something, and he rides off
Yeah.
to go get either more people or horses or something.
Yeah, we followed him for like blocks. And at one point too, before that, he started, because Julian was talking to him, like for me and you were like behind, just like following. And he like opened up his shirt and showed like Julian like a stab or like
Yeah,
a
like a
gunshot
stab
wound
wound, I think it
that
was.
he had gotten. And he said something to him in Spanish about like they tried to kill me but they couldn't or something
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And Julian turned around and looked at us, and I couldn't understand. You could understand some.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're like, what? Like, who are we following?
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, he
eventually he found somebody else that he knew who had a car, and he talked to them while we were waiting for him.
Yeah.
He comes back to us on his horse. He says, "Okay, man, that guy, he's going to give you a ride to my
Stables of the horses.
stable where the horses are, so that you guys can get on the horses and then we can ride off." And this has been like an hour already, like, or an hour and a half of us like.
Yeah, we just followed this dude.
We're following him. We're waiting for him. Then he's telling us to get in this stranger's car. But no, we didn't get in the car.
No. We told him no, and then he took off, and he said something of like, if you want to like go meet us there, and we're like, we don't know where, we don't know where it is, and he just took off.
He was like, "Oh, okay, you guys don't want to get in the car? Okay, good. Just meet me at the place, and we'll go from there."
Took off.
And he took off, and like,
we
don't know where.
Yeah, we're in the middle of what was the town or like city that
Ajijic.
Yeah, we're just like in some alley at this point of Ajijic. He took off. We're like, we're not going. We're like, where do we go? So I think you called like your brother and Sean. You're like, you guys got to come find us. Come pick us up. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
But
we made it safe and sound. Another spot we went to was Tequila.
Yes.
Tequila, Mexico. We had good samples of tasting.
Too many.
The tequilas. Too many for you, right? Many. For me, it was just the right amount, except for the very night of like. After that, we went to see. No, did we see Lucha? Lucha was the.
That was the following day.
The following day or before?
Following, I think. See, the memory, Chino's a little blurry after all that, but.
Yeah, but in Tequila, you took photos.
I did.
I think that's one of the prints that I have of yours.
Yeah,
and
there's a couple different ones. There was the one of like it was like an archway in Tequila that framed like windows that almost kind of looked like a cross, and it was like a cool like red color.
Yep.
So there's that one, and then
I have that one.
We went into the agave fields.
Yeah.
That they let us do photos, and at this point we're like exhausted, but we got to get some photos. So we went, and I took a cool black and white photo, which is probably one of my favorite photos that I took that year of you. But like holding like the hat down, like in the agave fields, which is super cool. That one's been printed out too.
I want to get one of those in a restaurant here.
Yeah,
because they have one of Tequila.
Yeah,
and it's a guy riding a horse in the fields. But I think it would be way better if it was a picture of me in the fields.
Absolutely,
the one that you took. So I have to get that printed and get it into La Taquiza.
Yeah.
So
that'd be
if you're
incredible.
Watching, please let us have.
Look forward to that. You can do like a little like gallery day there. Everybody show up, give business, look at your photo.
Yeah.
Take a selfie with it.
There you go. That's
it.
That's the idea right there.
I like it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of like when people are entrepreneurs, they have more of a free spirit, more of like are more willing to do the crazy stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Because running your own business is kind of like a crazy thing, a kind of risk that you're taking.
Right.
And so that kind of trickles into the rest of your life where like, well, let me take a chance on this too. Like I did this. And so like your brain kind of adapts to like, okay, I know how to take risks and stuff has worked out for me. So now I can risk it here. And like you get, adapted to like, being a risk taker or like just knowing that the outcome is gonna work out.
Right. Yeah. Because you at one point too were like, I don't want to say specifically 9 to 5, but kind of like you weren't always like freelance because you went to school it was more like graphic design stuff, right?
I went for graphic design. I did graphic design for a long while.
Yeah.
It was like graphic design for trinkets and stuff. So like stress balls and like a lot of apparel.
Yeah.
We had a big manufacturer here of tractors and stuff. So it'd be a lot of like tracing out tractors and making tractor stuff, and it was
riveting stuff.
Yeah. We did stuff for Shure microphones. That was cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Something with a blue couch.
Huh.
I don't know what happened with
Faint
that.
memory. Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers. We did some stuff for them.
Okay.
Which was cool, but I never like I don't think I ever saw the final products
No.
on like 80% of the stuff.
So you just do stuff, pass it off to the next level, and then
get
next
done,
thing.
and then
Yeah.
who knows how ended up.
Yeah. So what made you like make that kind of the same as I'm experiencing now, like going from like a 9 to 5 to be like, I need to get out of there. I want to do my own thing. What kind of made you make that jump?
I always wanted to be free from stuff. It's like I hated school because of, and I still hate school because of that idea of like, okay, you have to do this, and this is how things are done. And
Yeah.
then there's always somebody above you watching over you and making sure you do something that they want you to do for like little benefit to me.
Yeah.
Like I understand like, learning how to read and write, and that's benefits people, but learning history and getting graded on how good you memorize stuff is like, why are you doing this to me? Like,
Yeah.
can you do something else? And while I figure what I need to learn. But anyways, when I got into photography, I saw that there was freedom in that because the kids who were in photography class were outside of class. They didn't have the teacher like roaming about or hovering and like saying, okay, did you take a photo of this? It seemed like they had freedom like to like just go out and figure out what do you want to take photo of. You want to take a photo of a tree, of the floor,
Yeah.
of your classmates. That was the freedom. I was like, oh, I like that. Like,
Yeah.
I can be out of the classroom. I can figure this out, and maybe it's a job and I get paid for it.
Right.
So that was what attracted me, and so then that led to me wanting to have that freedom in a job. So like, I want to be a photographer, and I want it to be my job, but I want it to have that freedom of like, I don't want to have people telling me what I should be taking a photo of if it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think maybe now wedding photography has become that, where I used to go and then people tell me what I need to do, or even I would tell myself, okay, you got to get this shot, you got to get
Right.
this shot.
Certain
So,
like standards, like how
yeah.
people think and you thought things should be done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's always been that kind of attitude of like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It backfires sometimes, but
That's all right. That's why you hire people like me to be there on your back and
yeah.
get you in the right headspace sometimes. But no, I think, and I totally mean this as a compliment, I feel like you have such like a unique way of like doing things and like shooting things. It's like not normal. Like you could never go to school for photography, video production and like learn the way that you think and do things. But I think that's amazing because I think that's what makes like you and your work like special.
Yeah, I think
So it makes sense why you didn't fit into being like 9 to 5 and you're like, I want to do my own thing because I don't want somebody telling me how to get it done. Because
Yeah.
you're like, yeah.
The more and more we're talking, I think I see more like of the risk taking side of me.
Yeah.
Because I learn more from like seeing photographers on Instagram and just magazine stuff. Like a lot of the magazine stuff was like, it got like, I saw it like photo, a pose or something, and it just like really stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
Like math and stuff, history, that stuff like doesn't jump out and stick to me.
Yeah.
Like, images stick out to me, and like, oh, like that made me feel a certain way. I don't know why, but it did. And so I kind of wanted to like say a cool magazine pose, I wanted to transition that into everyday life, which was like in a wedding. And
Yeah.
then so like when I was doing weddings, a lot of the like compliments were like, oh, this looks like a magazine.
Yeah.
Like a magazine cover. Like, so like I was like, oh, perfect, because that was the connection there. It was like,
Right.
this is a magazine, and then I connected it with a wedding, and they came together.
Yeah.
And I think I try to get people to do that more often, because I feel like a lot of photographers I've seen have like not combined their two worlds of like what they really love and what they're really inspired. And then there's the side of like, okay, this is how it's always been done.
Right.
And this is what I have to do at, this event or this wedding.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can combine all the stuff that you like, even if it's more risky, it's more like sensual, or it's more colorful.
Yeah.
You can mix it with your, the daily life of
Right.
somebody. Like, let's say like an AZ, we keep shouting him out.
We got to get him on the next episode. I think that's what's going on.
He has his look and feel.
Yeah.
And like even today I asked him like, hey, can you bring that into like my daughter's quinceañera
Yeah.
feel? And like, I don't think that's ever been done before. And that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I don't like
Yeah.
like what a quinceañera is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I want to take, it's our culture and mix it with something new.
Absolutely.
And something more that's more
Authentic to you.
like that I like. That
Yeah.
it's more edgy, it's more
Not just 'cause of-
grungy a little bit,
Yeah.
more street feel, more real life. Like I understand this, and then this I don't get.
Right.
Whoever invented this style of shooting, and it has to be so pretty and stuff, like that wasn't me. That wasn't my idea. That was somebody else's idea, and now I have to have that idea for me. Like, no, I'll
Right.
do it this way.
Yeah.
So if you have like a lowrider or something, or like a
Lowrider, what else are you looking for? The
horse,
horse?
fast
lowrider,
cars.
A Lambo, maybe? A
Who's
lot of
got that
options here.
Lambo?
I don't know.
Who's watching? Who has that Lambo?
Somebody around here. They probably got it in the garage for winter, but
True.
every once in a while I'll see one out there.
Mhm.
But no, I feel like that way of thinking, like I feel like even times you've challenged me in that, like I'll shoot something and you'd be like, not in a way like critiquing it, be like, hey, like why'd you like do that way, or why'd you like shoot like that setting? And I'm like, you're like, did you just do it because that's what everybody else does? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, why? So
You wanted that fast paycheck.
But yeah, so is there certain ways to like do things? But I think it's great to like push like the boundaries of it and like bring
and
your own spin.
If you are worried about it, I've done it so many times, and the client loves it.
Yeah.
The clients are getting younger, and they're kind of getting tired of seeing the same stuff over and over. And then when you
Right.
bring them something unique, they actually enjoy it,
Yeah.
and they call you back.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes too, like they might not even know exactly what they think that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you as the creative, it's like they're coming to you to be like, hey, this is my idea. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, be creative. Yeah. Change it up.
And you
Tell
can
them what you
always,
think.
if you're still like on the fence about it, you can always shoot it both ways.
Right.
I always like with the wedding side, I always ask them, you want it to feel like a magazine, or do you want it to feel more like happy and a little cheesy, or do you want it to be more like standard?
Right.
And usually people say 50-50, just
Yeah.
because they want to also live on that safe side of like,
Right.
okay, in case he gets too crazy with lights and all this stuff,
Right.
at least we have like, our standard photo. Mostly those go to like grandma and grandpa who
Right.
like seeing.
Well, I feel like there's so many different photographers and videographers out there. So I feel like that's just another reason why not be who you want to be and create how you want to be, and like be unique in the way that you want to be. I think it's just a great way to like stand out, and it's like you're going to find clients for that work because they're going to be looking for something different or something specific if that's what they want. It's like maybe you don't want the clients that like, if that's what you want to do, like this creative like different work, you probably don't want the clients anyways that kind of want this classic look for whoever it might be, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because there's photographers out there that's their thing.
Yeah.
So
I'll say that I wish I would have been doing that earlier in my career,
yeah.
to take those risks and to do what I envisioned in my mind instead of doing what I thought
Right.
should have been done.
Yeah.
I wish I would have started earlier. Looking back at it now, I would think that okay, I would have maybe a broader clientele of like people who appreciate that, because you do end up finding those people that like really appreciate what you do. And
Yeah.
like I think in the beginning when you don't hear the feedback of like, oh, that was great, like, and you don't hear like, oh man, you think different and we appreciate that, when you don't hear that,
Yeah.
it's tough on your mind to like be confident in yourself that I'm taking these risks,
Right.
and might be paying off. I haven't heard.
Yeah.
But so if once you get those like affirmations, you're like, okay, good.
Right.
I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna keep on finding
Yeah.
the right people.
Yeah. And I mean, you said risk. It definitely is a risk. Like, it would be easier, like, especially in the beginning, like, to get more clients if you're just doing kind of like what you know you would say is the norm. But it's once you like start like being true to yourself and how you want to create that, you're actually gonna find like the clients that are right for you, that are really gonna like appreciate that type of work. So yeah, it's not gonna be easy, but I think in the long run, as you've said, like, you wish you would have started doing that earlier.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, I think it's totally worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, a thing that you're doing these shoots they're called Pay What You Want, or what's it called?
Oh, the first headshot event that I hosted. Yeah.
What's it called?
I called it like the Pay What You Want headshot event. Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Pay What You Want headshot. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So last year, I just had an idea and like wanting to get into more like headshots and kind of build more of a, because I always enjoy doing that work and feel like I do really well with that work, but I did feel like I didn't have enough of a portfolio built up to really like advertise that work. So a way to do that, I was like, first of all, I had a lot of friends starting to like graduate college at that age that were kind of starting to get into looking for jobs and stuff, that it made sense of like, okay, I have people around me that are like asking and needing headshots. And two, of like I said, just wanting to build up that portfolio. So I was like, what if I just do like a event where it's just pay what you want. You don't have to worry about, normal session fees, and it's like a day thing. Everybody gets a time slot and you can come in, and not only did I like meet a bunch of people that I didn't know, because of course I had some friends that came, but I also met a bunch of people in the community that I didn't know. That was great to just, it was like a mix of networking and everybody got a headshot. So
Have you seen that done before, or are you kind of the?
I feel like it's been done. I don't know if like specifically like called that, but I feel like I've seen like similar like little like headshot event things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, there wasn't. Hopefully I didn't copy anybody, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would do it exactly the same again, but like the same like structure of it again.
Yeah.
I would love to host. Funny enough, today I just made a post today. You haven't even seen it yet because we've been setting up it. But I made a post today just kind of gauging interest to see who would want to like be in like another headshot event, and then from there I might host another one. So stay tuned. We'll kind of talk about it.
You do it at your place.
I did the last one. Yeah. I think that was a mix of just like, I had the space. I kind of wanted to challenge myself to be like, I've shot stuff there before, but to be like, hey, what can I fit and do here? To not have to worry about, with it being pay what you want, to not have to worry about like finding a studio space and then like paying like rental. So I was able to not worry about that.
Yeah.
Not worry about the fees. And
I was there, and I saw
did.
that the people who came in were like super comfortable just showing up to your this photographer's home. And just going in there, and nobody seemed like they're like weirded out or anything. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we're doing this, and you had the setup, you had your backgrounds and your lights, and it seemed like everyone got good stuff. You showed them the photos right away, because I saw people that like said, oh, I like this one, can we do more like that? And right away you could just like go back into the background and shoot more like that. So like people were like really hands-on. You made them feel comfortable. It was a good event.
No, I feel like I didn't want it to be, because there's like headshot events sometimes where you go and there's a camera and you literally sit down, smile, and they take a photo. And I didn't want it to be that, because that's not like the type of photographer that I am. There's totally makes sense to like do those, but I wanted this to be like, I really want you to get like a good headshot that you feel comfortable how you look, that you're happy with. Even though it's quick, it was like quick little like sessions between time slots, but I was like, we can still do that in that time where you can sit down. I had it tethered to my computer, so take a couple shots. They can look at it, kind of see how they're feeling. Oh, maybe I like this angle better. How can we structure differently? That way they're leaving that day too, even though they're not leaving with a photo right away, but they're leaving knowing like, oh, I came here today. I already saw the photo. This was great. I think that kind of helped people be more comfortable too in the space. And
you like the flash strobes. We've talked about a bit that I'm leading more into using video lights
right
as like constant lights on. I prefer that.
Yeah.
I think more than the strobes.
Yeah.
I feel like I get to see it immediately, what it looks like, and then I can stare at people's eyes while I'm adjusting the light. And
Right.
but you're not the opposite, but you like the strobe look.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, we've talked about this before, but I feel like it's also more of just like a comfort thing. So I feel like you've been like doing with the video lights for like a while. So like you're comfortable like doing that. And I feel like I kind of like when I was at my 9 to 5 like doing stuff, there was a lot of stuff that we were doing like that too. If you're doing photo and video, there's no way you're going to do strobe. So it kind of makes 100% sense to do video lights.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, kind of up until like more recently, everything was just like, especially for headshots, just photo.
Yeah.
So it made sense for me just to kind of use strobe and kind of.
Strobe though is like more powerful sometimes, and it's like I do have a big strobe here and there.
Yeah.
I sometimes still use it because it looks so good on skin, like because it's bigger light source and the flash is brighter or stronger.
Yeah.
But I think because I'm more of like, okay, I want to get this shot and I want to get this shot and I want to get this shot while you're here.
Yeah.
I like the video lights because they'll just stay on, and I feel like I can mold it and shape it a little bit quicker than setting up a light and then checking it and like, let me adjust this.
Totally. Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I feel like too, like it's a lot more like cheaper and convenient to get strobes if you're wanting to do it, because to get like a light source, like I know you have a lot of aperture lights, like a 600 or like they have the 1200s too, but like, to get a light source that would match up to like a small like strobe, it'd be a lot more like expensive. So like if you're doing just like photo, you're able to get, you're able to have no natural light coming into it and completely, like with strobes, completely use just the lights that you're bringing in.
Right.
Versus in order to do that with video lights, you'd have to have some crazy powerful lights to even be close to possible. So I feel like I just kind of like preferred that. But I think, your work with the video lights, I think it's great. It's like there's a time and place for both. I think it comes down to preference and experience and
yeah, because speaking of experience, there's a lot of photographers that come in this studio to rent out this space to use for their own photo sessions.
Yeah.
And what a lot of them are, they love these big windows back here because they're super comfortable with shooting with natural light.
Natural light, yeah.
But I've seen a lot of them kind of progress, and they progress into like strobes. So like kind of starts off like on the top of the camera, and then they go and they put it on a stand so it's off camera. And I think they've appreciated having these lights here too, so that they get kind of experience. You don't want to buy them without really knowing them. So I think it's been good for people to come in the studio, rent the space, but also rent a light and like check it out. Like how would this actually work out for me? Because you can see people do stuff online, but you don't know the whole process of like how much are you looking at that it's editing.
Yeah.
So like when you come here and you shoot and you practice with a strobe, and you're like, okay, well this is what the actual photo is going to look like with the strobe, and it's been super helpful for a lot of people that to not have to go try and buy a bunch of different things to see what they like. They can come here and like, okay, this is how a constant light works. This is what the look I'm going to get, and it works during this time of day.
Yeah.
Or like the strobe is like way better at maybe making the skin look a little bit softer than a constant light that's a little bit smaller.
Yeah. No, I feel like as someone for the longest time that was also just like all natural light. And I think the reason I didn't is because like I didn't have access to it and I wasn't comfortable with it. So I was like, I'm comfortable with natural light. I'm going to stick with natural light. So like, yeah, I think it's great to like that you have this like space that you not only like rent out to people to use for shoots, but to also like give them like the option to be like, hey, you could use this video light if you want to try it out, or you can give this strobe a try if you want to. I mean, that's the best way to learn and like figure out these things is just like hands on. And yeah, nobody's gonna go and buy $1,200 light on a whim just because they're like, ooh, let's maybe test this out and see how it is. So I think it's cool to like that you have this space and give other people the opportunity to like to give it a go. Yeah.
Do you have like a moment of that you remember of like saying why photography? Like why is it that you want to take pictures? Or
Yeah. I think it was like a mix of like so many different like situations and like occurrences that like slowly growing up just kind of like all came together that was like, this is really what I enjoy. But no, I think it was one of the first things that like I caught on to that like I was like, I like this. I feel good doing this. Like I like to capture it. It started out for like video. I mean, we're talking like way back. But it started out like doing like little videos and like making little like vlogs, and we go on like a family vacation. I'd bring a camera with.
where did that camera come from?
I don't even know. I must have bought it at some point or got it as like a present.
But it shot video and photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I started out like with a phone. Like I remember going out on like growing up, I was in Boy Scouts, and I remember us going on like trips to like North Dakota and Maine. And I remember bringing like, it was either like I think it was like an iPod that had a camera on it. And I was just like capturing and like editing like photos from like the trip. So I think it's kind of started with that. And like, I really like enjoyed that. Really enjoyed taking photos and like.
But there wasn't this, you haven't thought back and said, what was the actual reason of why I documented this? Is it because maybe you lost a pet?
Oh man, this is the part where Chino tries to get me to cry on the podcast. No, I don't know. I feel like if I thought about it more, maybe, but like, I think
it's just fun.
It just became a thing that, it definitely started as something that like, I didn't start this out as like career because I was like a kid at the time. I didn't start this out as career. It was like, I enjoy doing this.
But did you see anybody else doing that? Like you saw like another photographer, or you saw like a movie that.
YouTube was big for me, so like a bunch of YouTubers like doing stuff. I was like always like a YouTube like kid because I started making YouTube videos, and so kind of seeing all those YouTube videos, and I think it just kind of like grew from that to like doing things. And I think there's probably a million different influences that I had like growing up, which kind of brought me in like different directions that shaped what this has become today. But
so it's mostly that just the digital world of like, this is going to be something. This is something that we can actually do.
Right.
It's like instead of coloring, instead of drawing, make a video. Take a photo.
I think I've always been a creative person, and I wasn't good at those other creative things. I wasn't good at like drawing and writing, but like with a camera, like I could capture something with a camera and frame something with a camera to like tell a story or to show people that like didn't require any fancy penmanship or fancy drawing or painting. So I think I kind of grabbed it as like a way for me to like express myself creatively. And from that, it grew a million different ways to kind of to shape.
And you were posting your stuff on YouTube?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was just like, there was a whole era of Josh that was gaming YouTube. So I was making Call of Duty gaming YouTube, and then I started doing like challenges and stuff, which those I think started to like involve me with the camera more, because it wasn't just like set up a camera and a webcam and record. It was like go and like do things and create little like videos, and then doing little vlogs, and before you know it, I got deep in this.
Did you I know you shot film, but it wasn't like something that you started off on, right? It was like you started straight on digital, and then later on film came into your life a little bit. I don't know how much did you enjoy.
I do. I recently got back into it. I got some old film cameras from a great aunt of mine that I've had at my house for years, and finally was like, I need to like use these and shoot these, because I think it's a way to capture things differently than digital. And I think I use it when I have a digital camera. I automatically am thinking like work mode. I'm just like, oh, what am I going to shoot? What can I do? How can I make money? What can I do this way? Versus like film, it's just like none of that matters.
More personal.
I got how many 36, 24 shots in this roll. I can just go out and shoot pictures, and it feels like less of work. It's more of just like capturing life.
I started on film,
Yeah.
and now I don't like it.
No, really? At all?
When I see people like shoot film, and well, no, I don't mind them shooting film, but I when they start talking about like, oh, film look
Yeah.
is so much nicer, and film is like you're smarter if you shoot film and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, nah, I'd rather have a digital camera and shoot like a bunch of photos and use one
Yeah.
instead of like getting it sitting there and like I don't have the patience for it
Yeah.
for film anymore.
No,
Like
that's fair.
so much my life has become digital, so like I'm not one of those that looks back on wanting to go back to film ever.
Yeah. Everything's so fast paced. So yeah, I can't lie. I think shooting film like definitely became a thing. Like take a step back from that and just like, okay.
Little
Yeah,
Polaroids are cool.
yeah, I used to do the like Instax ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like a little Instax like printer, and that was a cool way. Growing up, I had like I probably have one of you, but it was like a Polaroid like Instax wall of like all people that like
Oh.
I'd met, and they'd all sign it, and I still
Oh,
have
yeah.
them all. I recently came across it. I have
Okay.
it like in like a little jar, but that was a cool way for me to just like capture like memories and like people that I've
Yeah.
met like throughout like my career and like journey of all this
Your
stuff.
whole life.
Yeah,
Next to all your cameras
yeah.
are a bunch of spiders
Oh man,
or tarantulas.
yeah,
You have this big collection
I do.
of
Tarantulas.
tarantulas,
Yeah,
but they're small. They're not like
a lot
those
of
big ones.
A lot of them are small. A lot are
Yeah.
young still. Yeah, yeah.
What's the deal with
What's
that?
the deal? Oh man, this is
love
this is the
tarantulas.
first public speaking of this.
Yeah, you kept it pretty private.
Yeah, well, you know how people think about. There's a lot of people that like even like friends that are just like I do not like spiders, and a lot of people will say like okay, they like are different than like spiders, but
But that's a big thing for you.
it is.
It's like
It's
one of
not
those-
huge. I'm not like a.
It's one of those things where you have to combine the two. Like I think eventually you'll have a shoot with people with tarantulas.
I don't
No?
think so. I think
No?
that's taking it to an extreme step. No, I've always liked spiders and like had no fear of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, like anytime somebody would see a spider and be like squash it, I'm like, no, I'll just pick it up. I don't care what it is. I'll pick it up within my hand. It's not going to bite me. Also, we're in Wisconsin, so even if it would bite me, there's no harm there. And let it outside, and
That's
so
the Cub Scout in you.
yeah, the adventurer, the Cub Scout, the Boy Scout, out in nature. Yeah, but yeah, so I just always liked spiders, and then lost my mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to get one, and before you know it, one turns into many. We
You
won't
have a
talk
whole
about how
family.
many
Yeah.
there are, but it's cool. I don't know. It's cool to have people over that like don't know about it or like aren't familiar with it, and just to be like show them, and yeah,
Yeah, I haven't held one yet.
yeah. Only a few of my friends have. I think two friends have. So you could be the third.
I can be one of those people that hold the tarantulas.
Yeah, come on by. You could do the photo shoot with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like on my face. And
That could be
stuff.
your new profile photo. That'd be very you. I feel like actually.
For the quinceañera.
Yeah,
I have spiders.
maybe
Yeah.
rent them out.
Yeah, you love cars.
I do.
Do you? But I don't see you take photos of cars. Are
No, I feel like this is a good thing. This is good.
you? Yeah.
You got me thinking. I feel like there's certain things in my life that I like, but that I have to like separate from like even though I enjoy like photography and like video, I feel like I want to separate them from like my work in like a certain way. Just like not to so it doesn't become. I think it's like a fear of it becoming like work.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I want to keep this like not that I'm keeping it like private, but it's just like I just want to keep this like
I see that because people have come up to me and been like, hey, so talking about my kids and stuff, and like, oh, you must have a ton of photos of your kids. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
not really. Like, just because I do photography doesn't mean I photograph things that I like
right.
constantly or like professionally. Like,
Right.
I'd rather take pictures of my kids on a phone
Yeah.
than pull out a camera and set the things
Yeah.
up. Like, there is that, like, I enjoy my kids in the moment,
Yeah.
and I don't want them to be a prop or something. So I think that's how you feel about your spiders.
This,
your car.
I've taken some photos of the spiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you got to kind of have that separation of it. And like, I feel like whenever I pick up like a digital like camera, like my camera that I do work on, part of me automatically goes to like work mode, which is fine because I enjoy it, but also I can't be in work mode.
It's like the mechanics
24/7.
that don't work on their own cars, or like a carpenter that's never built anything for his own home. It's like, this is work,
Right.
business,
Right.
this is personal.
Gotta separate it. And I think as like creatives, I've definitely struggled like separating those two things where like my whole life becomes like this thing of creative around my photography. The thing is, I get older and like, you know, figuring things out, it's like more of just like, okay, that's okay, but not all the time. Like you need to have some separation of things that can't be all that.
Do you envision future stuff that you would want to work in? Do you want to capture animals, nature, automobiles, boats, bikes, hair salons, restaurants, beer, bourbons? That'd be cool, right?
That could be cool.
Shooting for a bourbon company or something.
Yeah.
But is there like a thing that you kind of like, I would like to try that, or maybe I would really fit really well in photographing?
Yeah. I feel like I've been doing this so long, but I feel like I'm like now like going into like being fully self-employed and like my own business. I feel like at this point, like everything and anything is like, I mean, of course there's things that I've already done that I'm like, maybe not again, but I feel like at this point it's just like really kind of to like rediscover and like figure out like what those like certain things are that I really enjoy. So like I'm at this point, I'm kind of open to all different things. And as I said, I'm starting to get more into like video too, even if it's just like personal stuff. But I feel like
you're starting to not vlog, but
just like little like videos here and there.
for the reels and stuff.
Okay. I'm more like YouTube. I want to start doing more like behind the scenes stuff of like photo shoots, and so I have a shoot that I'm gonna do kind of a behind the scenes video, just showing like setup and kind of posing and things with studio. So I'm definitely getting more into like studio work, especially during like winter, as you know. It's cold, so it's great. Like you have this like spot here, and I do a lot of stuff at my home studio. So it's great to get more into like studio work. And I think too, like doing work that you maybe didn't do as much of before is like a nice like refresh of not like the same old, kind of changing things up. And that's why like for doing video too, it's like I feel like photo and video are so connected, but I feel like in a way like I feel like I'm relearning, and like it's a whole different kind of realm with like video. So it's kind of helping me kind of stay inspired and learn new things and keep growing and learning. And I think having a variety is great. It's like not doing the same thing, like not shooting just the same thing. It's like it keeps me fresh, keeps me learning, and
doing a podcast.
I enjoy it a lot more. I think the podcast was a good idea.
How many podcasts have you been on?
Speaking on?
Yeah.
This is the first.
Nice.
Yeah, I've helped out with some others, but this is my first, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. I didn't get an introduction again. Last time I forgot to intro myself. So I'm Chino. I do creative photography and video making. Done several projects here around town. Milwaukee, Madison, Chicago, Mexico, Guatemala. Open to photo and video, capturing stuff, helping businesses grow with marketing, taking risks on stuff. And thank you for joining us. Hope there's good information there and some fun stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chino.
Yeah. No, we have to do the clickbait.
Like a fight?
No, of your story of the car.
Clickbait? You want a clickbait like title?
Title, or
maybe like we say something mad and you like lunge across.
I don't think so.
No,